USB, Type-C, all the things. If you did not hear, European Union lawmakers have agreed on legislation to make sure all smartphones by 2024 have USB Type-C ports. That means Apple has to say bye-bye to the Lightning port.
Well, why over Lightning?
This new standard that'll go into effect in a couple years will affect laptops, tablets, and smartphones. Now, it is for wired connected devices, but as you know, as of today, iPhone is wired by Lightning cables. This is big news. This is great news. This is welcome news. But if I talk to you about USB Type-C for like 6 minutes, I might put you to sleep. So I interviewed Rene Ritchie, who is an Apple expert YouTuber, AKA tech analyst, AKA one of the GOATs when it comes to talking Apple and tech. I talked to him on our show. Here's that interview with him. I hope you enjoy. Joining us now from Cupertino, tech analyst Rene Ritchie. Rene, we understand you have a USB Type-C cable with you, which will be usable in Europe. So can you take us through the key differences between that and the Lightning cable?
Absolutely. So here we have one of each. And if you look at them closely, the Lightning cable is an outie. All the pins are on the outside, where the USB-C cable is an innie and everything is on the inside. And that makes it just slightly bigger. But also, Lightning has remained almost completely unchanged since it was introduced back in 2012. So the plug is the same, but also the speed is the same. USB, the letter means the shape of the plug, and the number means the speed of the connection. So this is still at USB 2.0 speeds, where this cable can do 2.0, 2.1. So basically, it can go from half a gigabit per second to 5, 10, and 40 gigabits per second if it supports Thunderbolt as well. So where this has been sort of stagnant from a data perspective, this has gotten much, much faster. And both of them will handle charging. But with USB-C, you have a lot of fast charging options.
Now, when it comes to how this will change for the consumer, Apple has really put their toe in the water when it comes to USB Type-C on their devices. Tell me which ones, and why do you think Apple has dragged their feet when it comes to including this on something as popular as the iPhone?
I think exactly what you said. The devices that they have switched to USB-C or Lightning are the higher end iPads, the ones that people use more like computers. And by using USB-C, they get access to all of the peripherals that people use computers use, like high-speed SSD drives, microphones, all of that. But USB-C, as much as we call it a standard, really isn't, because you can have all those different speeds and you can have a bunch of different power availabilities, including very little power or very little data in some cables, and they're almost indistinguishable. The Thunderbolt ones will have like a little Thunderbolt Lightning icon on them, and the standard says you're supposed to label the speed and the type of power delivery available, but almost nobody does. And so I think Apple wanted to keep it super simple. So anybody who has a Lightning cable knows that that cable will work. They never have to worry if it's the right power or any power, the right speed or any speed. Is just one Lightning cable for iPhone owners.
Now, when it comes to the finances of this, how much do you think Apple will be missing out on? Because in 2021, Apple sold, I think, 241 million iPhones globally, 56 million were sold in Europe. All of those iPhones, as you know, have Lightning. But if that goes away, what kind of financial hit could they take?
I don't think it's huge. I mean, a lot of people like to think that Apple has a MFI program, a made for iPhone program, where if you want to make a Lightning connector, you have to pay a licensing fee, but that also comes with the chipset that uses Lightning. And for Apple, that's not like, for some companies, that's a lot of money, but for Apple, I think that's like the change that you find in Tim Cook's office sofa. Is just so little compared to iPhone revenue. And I think while Apple likes money, what they really like is control. And because they licensed Lightning, you could never find a bad Lightning cable, where for the early days of USB-C, literally a Google engineer had to test every single one of them and blog which ones wouldn't melt your computer or phone because they were badly made in the beginning.
Ouch. Now, I have to ask, when it comes to this legislation, this rule that it's going to advance most likely, doesn't tackle wireless charging. Do you think, because there has been rumors with Apple products that the iPhone, or maybe a couple generations from now, will likely have no port at all for wired charging and all be wireless. What does that do for consumers who are looking forward to a USB-C port?
So I think Apple might bifurcate their strategy and go wireless for the consumer end. because it's very convenient, very easy to use. And even though it's not as efficient, even things now like the Qi chargers, we've shown that we will trade some efficiency for a lot of convenience. But Apple is also putting really high-end camera features. Like they shoot now in ProRes, high dynamic range, like the stuff that you use for film production. And that is so big. It's 6 gigabits per second, 6 gigabytes per minute of footage. And getting that off is hard. So I think they're going to have to go USB-C, at least on the professional models.
Now, the EU is not targeting Apple. The whole purpose for this, what they say, is to lower e-waste, where Apple is countering, saying, well, if you switch to USB Type-C, you're going to create more e-waste because people are going to throw out all their old cables and things. Who do you think is right on this argument?
So I think the EU always has very good intentions, but they often have very poor implementation. Like we can look back and see like the cookie rules now mean that all of us have to like tap to get rid of cookies on every web page we go to every 3 seconds. Or they did a browser ballot famously where they made Microsoft include options for different browsers to protect and preserve alternate rendering engines. And the result was they destroyed them all. And almost everything runs WebKit or Google's fork of WebKit, Chromium, even Internet Explorer and Opera, which they were trying to protect. So I think they have consumer interest at heart, but I think it would behoove them to listen to more technology experts before they come out with the exact implementation.
My last question for you. We understand you're at Cupertino. You are at WWDC for the casuals. They introduced the MagSafe to their MacBook lineup, their MacBook Air and their MacBook Pro. That is proprietary cable as well. Do you think the EU will eventually have to not target that? Do you think they'll have to make that change in 2024 because of this new regulation?
So the EU answered that in the most hilarious way possible when they said Apple could keep the Lightning port as long as they put USB-C on it as well. And that's what Apple's done with the Macs. There is MagSafe, but you can still plug in via USB-C if you want. And that satisfies the EU regulation.
All right, tech analyst Rene Ritchie, one of my favorite YouTubers. Enjoy Cupertino. I wish I was there with you, bud. Thank you so much for coming down here and sharing your expertise. All right,
so what are your thoughts? Are you excited about a USB Type-C future? Do you think that proprietary cables like Lightning should be sticking around? Or are you just so tired of buying so many cables and having so many different cables all over the place that you just want everything just to have one, much like a USB Type-C? I think you know where I stand. I made that pretty obvious. Let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, I will post more videos like this where I show you a little bit of my job outside of this YouTube channel. Thanks again for watching. I am Kenny, and I'll see you later. Go make something. That's what I think I said. I am Kenny B. Now go make something.